drainage is needed. And in the case of bridge, vertical clearance of 70 meters results in its steep slope for pedestrians and additional pedestrian route. Reporting this result to Tanzanian governments, including Ministry of Works, Ministry of Transport, Town Roads, and TPA by our consultant, we got the feedback that tunnel was better for at this stage. The reason is stable electricity can be secured by large-scale hydropower in the future in Tanzania. And the other reason is more vertical clearance can be required due to increasing in size of ships in the future, in the case of bridge. As a result, we support those feedbacks from Tanzania side made our proposal more realistic and more helpful for Tanzania side. This is literally a small but concrete process for quality infrastructure dialogue between Tanzania and Japan, isn't it? And more dialogues and discussions would be required for embodying this project in the future. In summary, today's my message through this case is very, very simple. Towards future development in Tanzania, MLIT will continue to cooperate, collaborate, and co-create with Japanese Tanzanian public and private sectors through dialogues and discussions. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you for those two presentations. May I call on Mr. Ara Hitoshi, the Chief Representative of JICA Tanzania Office.
Distinguished member of the mission, distinguished guest, and ladies and gentlemen, habari za asubuhi. Tanzania, oh yeah! Jaida, oh yeah! Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd like to. It is my great pleasure to be here and have opportunities to talk about the JICA's activity, especially transportation sector in Tanzania. So, jina langu ni Hitoshi Ara, mimi ni mwakilishi mkuu wa ofisi ya Tanzania. Unajua JICA? Okay, thank you very much. I can continue my presentation. And also, my name is Hitoshi Ara, as I said. And my Tanzanian people always say, oh, your name is Hitoshi. So, yeah, but I hope my presentation will not be Hitoshi. And I sincerely hope that you feel some kind of hitatoshi about my presentations. Yeah, sorry, maybe later I'd like to explain about what I talk to the Japanese participant. Okay, at the beginning, I'd like to share JICA's overall mission and vision. JICA's mission is JICA will work on human security and quality growth. And JICA's vision is, just a moment. Anyway, okay, reading the word with trust. So JICA values mutual trust with developing countries. So one of the symbols of this value is people-to-people relationship, which will be foundation of trust. This figure are data of JICA's activity in 2019, before COVID. We accepted more than 13,000 people as trainees and we dispatch around 9,000 people to developing countries. This figure is not only Tanzania, overall figures of all over our activities. So this slide shows JICA's scheme. We have been implementing our activity through mainly 3 schemes. One is the grant aid and the technical cooperation and the finance and the investment corporations. Adding to these 3 schemes, we also consider volunteer schemes and partnership with private sector as important our activities. So I'm proud that we have conducted financial cooperation project in Tanzanian transportation sector, and as the Honorable Minister mentioned, many Tanzanian people know our experience and our contribution. I'm very proud of our past activity, and I'm very keen to continue these kind of cooperations. So, and I would also like to emphasize that we have been implementing technical cooperation for the capacity development and sustainable development in these transportation sectors. This slide shows JICA's history in Tanzania and JICA's input, which has been delivered to Tanzania. As I said, we have implemented various financial cooperation. Total amount of financial cooperation is around 250 billion Japanese yen. So total amount of grant aid and yen loan. So based on that current rate, it becomes roughly 1.7 billion US dollar. So I'd like to add that the major area of financial cooperation is infrastructure, especially the area of transportations. So next, I'd like to explain about our basic policy and the priority area. So our basic policy is promoting economic and social development toward sustainable economic growth and poverty reductions. In order to achieve this, or under this basic policy, we set 3 priorities. One of them is that the infrastructure development conducive to economic and social development. In this pillar 2, we have sub-pillars. One is transportation and urban development, and the other is the power and energy. So I'd like to say that this priority second, we are mainly targeting infrastructure development. So this is some kind of a general information of the Tanzania. I understand that the Tanzanian people know very well about this information, but I like to say to the Japanese participant, so you can easily understand there is a huge need for the infrastructure development in Tanzania. And I'd like to say again, there is an area for the collaboration between these 2 companies, two countries. So I sincerely hope that the Japanese participant would recognize some kind of this potential for the future development, and then potential for the further collaborations. So based on this figure, I'd like to explain about the character of the Tanzania. So as all of you know, Tanzania is located at the logistics gateway to neighboring landlocked countries and a major corridor in African continent, such as the Central Corridor and the North-South Corridor is located in Tanzania. And also, I'd like to talk about the rapid urbanization. Rapid urbanization, Honorable Minister has already mentioned, is one of the crucial challenges, Changamoto, with African countries, including Tanzania. So in our activity in transportation sector of Tanzania, we are focusing on, and we have been focusing on, development of regional road network, and development of urban infrastructures. So this slide shows some kind of the historical sequence of our cooperation in the transportation sectors. So we can understand two major trends from this slide. How do you think about these two trends? One is a shift of scheme. So we are shifting from the grant aid to yen loan project in accordance with your development. So as you can clearly understand that around the 80s to 2000, there is a many grant aid project, but nowadays we are starting formulation and implementation of the yen loan project. The other one is that the increase of technical cooperation. So as already engineer Kakuya-san mentioned, technical transfer is some kind of the important point of our experience, our activity. JICA is also putting our emphasis on technical cooperation. Therefore, so number of the technical cooperation project has been increasing. And the one other character is that in our technical cooperation, we are also cooperating with your government in formulation of the master plan. So regarding on the urban transportation master plan of Dar es Salaam, I'm very proud of our activity in formulation and the cooperation of this development of the urban transportation master plan in Dar es Salaam. And based on this master plan, not only Japan, but also other developing partners, such as the World Bank or African Development Bank, has cooperated to realize this urban transportation master plan. So next, I'd like to talk about the example of our technical cooperation in transportation sectors. One is training and road asset management. As I said, JICA has accepted more than 22,000 Tanzanian people since 1960s. I'd like you to raise a hand if there are any ex-participants of JICA training. Thank you very much. Just one? I hope there are many ex-JICA participants. But anyway, so I want to skip this session. Yeah. So, and in transportation sector, we also accepted training from the Ministry of Works, Ministry of Transportation, and the town road, and so on. So, through training, we have cooperated in the capacity development of the Tanzanian people. So, I expect there are some kind of the people who know about Japanese experience and the Japanese technology, so that the ex-participants would continue their effort to realize development of the Tanzania, especially in this transportation sector. So these also show that in here, I show that some kind of example or typical name of our training courses, which we conducted in Japan. So one thing, maybe you can recognize. So most of our training courses noted in here, focusing on the maintenance. So based on that concept of road asset management, we consider preventive maintenance management, including design and extending the service life of facility or infrastructure, is one of the key issues for effective and efficient infrastructure investment, and the key to realize growth and sustainable development. So, and Mr. Engineer Kakuya has already explained that good example in other countries. So at the same time, so JICA is thinking this point is very important. And then deliver the opportunity to Tanzanian people to learn these kind of issues through our training courses. So this is another example of our technical cooperation project. We have just agreed with Tanzanian counterpart, Ministry of Works, Ministry of Home, and the related agency on detailed content of our and this is just one example. In transportation sector, JICA is ready to continue our activity with Tanzanian people. And then so this is another example of our financial cooperations. Project for improvement of transport capacity in Dar es Salaam. So maybe all of you know where is here. Where is this? Gerezani intersection and the Gerezani bridge. So we identify this project through the formulation of the master plan. So maybe you can understand that how congested this area is that, and then this area was some kind of the crucial bottleneck of the transportation in Dar es Salaam. And I'm very proud that through the formulation of the master plan and the identification of the project and then implementation of the grant aid project, we can contribute to solve these issues, these challenges in the transportation of the Dar es Salaam. So I heard that before this grant aid project, it takes around 1 hour or 1.5 hours to pass this area, but nowadays it takes just 5 minutes or 10 minutes to pass this area. And so, as your minister said, so it saves the cost and your time, and it contributes to some kind of your economic activity and improve your living environment. So I'd like to say again, I'm very proud that JICA has contributed development of your environment. So next is that I'd like to add one of the other character of our financial cooperation, not only by technical cooperation, but also by financial cooperation. JICA has contributed to capacity development. In other words, we have considered that actual project site can be the good opportunity for capacity development of Tanzanian construction companies, Tanzanian engineers, workers, and the counterpart agencies. Maybe you have already understand that good example in Vietnam cases, but I can say in Tanzania, in our project, we have conducted or we have contributed in the similar way. In concrete, we considered maintenance sincerely in designing stage and the actual construction stage or actual civil work stage. And we also put emphasis on quality control at the actual construction stage, and also we also take care sincerely about the safety of the construction site. And usually, so when we conduct this kind of project, we jointly do this project. I mean that usually, so Japanese contractor subcontract with Tanzanian contractors and work together to finish or to complete this project. And then so we also employ, they also employ the Tanzanian engineer or Tanzanian worker. For example, in this case, I heard there is just 3 Japanese engineers, and then there are around 70 to 100 Tanzanian worker or engineer working on this project site. Through this kind of scheme or this kind of way of the work, there are many chances for the Tanzanian people and the Tanzanian engineer, Tanzanian subcontractor to learn about the know-how and the experience of Japanese contractors. So I think this is one of the character of our project. And I'm also convinced our financial cooperation has contributed not only development of the infrastructure, but also development of construction sector of Tanzania. So I'm also looking forward to hear about the action and the effort of Japanese companies to realize quality growth through infrastructure development. I heard that after this session, there is some kind of chance, opportunity to get the presentation from the Japanese companies. I'm very looking forward to hearing about such information. So I'd like to conclude my presentation wishing this dialogue would be successful and fruitful for both Tanzanian people and the Japanese people. Thank you very much. Asante sana.
Asante. And now let's move over to the UNDP, the resident representative. Please put your hands together for Mr. Komatsu Bara Shigeki. From there, karibu sana. And let's prepare for the Tanzania presentations after this.
Should I use a mic? You can hear. Honorable, I think in absentia, but Honorable Innocent Bashungwa, Minister of Works of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Khalid Mohammed, Minister for Infrastructure, Communication and Transport of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Kosato Chumi, Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable David Mwakiposa Kihenzi, Deputy Minister of Ministry of Transport of the United Republic of Tanzania, His Excellency Baraka Luvanda, Ambassador of the United Republic of Tanzania to Japan, Honorable Kenichi Ogasawara, Deputy Minister for International Projects, Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport of Japan, Mr. Yoichi Miyamoto, President of JIDA and Chairman of the Board and Representative Director of Shimizu Corporation, Mr. Yoichi Okumura, Representative of JIDA, President and CEO, Fujita Corporation, His Excellency Yasushi Misawa, Ambassador of Japan to Tanzania, Mr. Hitoshi Ara, Chief Representative, JICA Tanzania, our respected presenters and colleagues from Tanzania Investment Center, TIC, Zanzibar Investment Promotion Academy, Tanzania National Roads Agency, TANROAD, Public-Private Partnership Center, and Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, representatives from leading companies from Japan, and our dear friends from private sector in Tanzania, our friends equally dear of the media, and our colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Mabibi na mabwana, habari za asubuhi. Nawasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Asante sana. As a proud partner of the United Republic of Tanzania and Japan, and as the longest-serving co-organizer of the TICAD, Tokyo International Conference on African Development, since its inception in 1993, together with the Government of Japan, African Union Commission, World Bank, and UN Office of Special Advisor for Africa, I am deeply honored to stand before you today at the Julius Nyerere International Convention Center in Dar es Salaam as we gather for this very important meeting. This gathering underscores our shared dedication to accelerated and inclusive development of Tanzania and Africa, true to the principle of international cooperation TICAD established and now globally accepted, African ownership and international partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, Amid uncertainties and unpredictability in many parts of our world, Tanzania is accelerating economic development, building on the peace, national unity, and stability she has built patiently and steadfastly since its independence. Just to illustrate this point, allow me to quote some facts. Number one, according to International Monetary Fund data, Tanzania's economy is already doubling its size between 2020 and 2030. Number two, while doing so, Tanzania is steadily catching up with Kenya, and assuming that this trend continues, it is foreseeable that Tanzania would overtake Kenya as the largest economy in East Africa in a decade or so. Number three, Tanzania is predicted to be the fastest growing economy in East Africa, and along with India, the driver of the fastest growing economic zone of the world in coming decades, in other words, Indian Ocean. Number four, Tanzania's population, youthful, vibrant, and full of energy and ideas, will likely reach 100 million in 15 years or so, at the rate we are increasing. During the same period, Dar es Salaam will become 10 million, as we call mega city, driving value-added economy for Tanzania and Africa. Number five, as we talk, Tanzania is already moving into lower middle-income country status, meaning increased individual wealth, increased domestic resources mobilizations and savings for infrastructure investment, further attracting foreign direct investments. Number six, during 2023, according to Tanzania Investment Center, such countries as China, India, Mauritius, and Singapore often appeared on the quarterly top 5 investors list by Tanzania Investment Center, and Tanzania is reaching out to them proactively and strategically. The future is now, and future is in the East. In short, Tanzania is on the verge of unleashing true socio-economic transformation from low income to increasingly middle income value addition economy. While accelerated development into the middle income Tanzania offers so many exciting opportunities and potentials, it poses new challenges as well. For example, one, in hard infrastructure, focus on quality and efficiency will become as important as quantity and scale. Number two, middle-income economy would require increased investment in soft infrastructure. Two, we need different skill sets, we need different talents, we need different institutional functions, and we need different spaces for initiatives and collaborations across the country. Number three, to unleash the full potential of the private sector to drive the economy, dialogue, consensus, and collaboration between the public and private sector to guide targeted investment for accelerated, sustainable, and inclusive growth will be more essential than ever. Four, and lastly, at macro level, we need to change the way we think and talk development. We should no longer be reacting to problems and deficiencies. We should no longer be perpetually addressing poverty. Instead, we should be investing in talents, opportunities, institutions, and infrastructure, both hard and soft, for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, against these backdrops, this dialogue between Japan and Tanzania is taking place at the most opportune time for mutual benefits of Tanzania, Japan, and Africa at large. Last week, to put my personal experience, for the first time, I took the standard gauge railway, SGR, from Dar to Morogoro. It was fast, it was smooth, it was comfortable, it was air-conditioned, it was functional, and it was almost time. At 200 kilometers an hour, SGR connects 500 kilometers between Dar es Salaam, economic capital, and Dodoma, political and administrative capital, by half the time of the road travel and substantially lower cost. It proved so popular that a third train was added from 1st of October. Coincidentally, on 1st of October of 60 years ago, Japanese SGR, we call it Shinkansen, literally translated new trunk route, started operations on 1st October of 60 years ago. It connected 500 kilometers between Tokyo, the political, administrative, and business capital, and Osaka, another historic economic capital, in 4 hours initially, at 200 kilometers an hour, 2 trains every hour. And it sounds familiar, I think, to all of our friends in Tanzania. Japan at the time borrowed heavily from the World Bank, as Ambassador Misawa mentioned. And some criticized Shinkansen as a waste of money. As it turned out, it shrunk time and space so much and ignited rapid economic growth of Japan through 1960s and beyond. Now, Shinkansen network, which started with 500 kilo, sounds familiar, is extended to 3,000 kilometers across Japan, continuing to create economic density and value additions. And equally importantly, I must mention, there have been no fatalities for 60 years. However, infrastructure also needs to evolve with the time. Over 60 years, Japan National Railway, which owned and operated Shinkansen, was privatized. Funding has changed as well, relying less on public funding. Currently, new magnetic linear Shinkansen, which will connect Tokyo and Osaka in mere 67 minutes, 500 kilos, at 500 kilometers an hour, is under construction entirely by private funding. Nobody would have imagined this 60 years ago. While this comparison is impressive and gives all of us courage and hope for the future, we also need to remind ourselves that SGR and Shinkansen are just the snow-covered peaks of Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Fuji. Without solid and extensive foundations, mountains cannot rise high. For the transition to middle-income, value-added economy and sustained inclusive growth, we need to continue to invest in human development. For example, education, skills development, competency leadership development, and many others, while quickly adapting policies, institutions, and systems in such a way to attract and unleash the potential of the private sector. And this cannot happen without dialogue among all stakeholders in the society, notably the public and the private sector. As we approach TICAD 9 in 2025, this dialogue can serve as a very important occasion for Tanzania and Japan to share experiences, insights, and aspirations for mutual benefits. It would also make very concrete contribution to TICAD 9 next year, which will gather stakeholders from around the world to galvanize collective contributions to Africa's development under the principle of African ownership and international partnership. UNDP, as one of the largest UN agencies dedicated to development, with leading mandate in such areas as wealth creation, good governance, both political and economic, and climate change, with cross-cutting focus on catalytic approaches such as digital, innovation, entrepreneurship, youth and women, we connect more than 170 countries, and together with our partners, we invest in concrete hopes and possibilities for the future. In the context of TICAD, UNDP has corporate commitment with JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, JETRO, Japan External Trade Organization, as well as UNIDO, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, to collectively contribute to the promotion of business partnership between Japan and Africa and wider friends and countries. As a proud partner of Tanzania and Japan, UNDP wish to thank you for this opportunity, and we look forward to working with all stakeholders for the future of Tanzania, Japan, and Africa. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza. Kazi endelee.
These have been three fantastic presentations from Japan, contributions through quality infrastructure. Let's put our hands together once again. Thank you very much, all the speakers. And now, we're going to hear overview presentations from Tanzania on very specific issues. We're going to invite the Tanzania Investment Center, the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority. We're also going to invite the Tanzania National Roads Agency, Public-Private Partnership Center, and the Tanzania Private Sector Foundation for the following presentations. I think we can continue with the Tanzania Investment Center, and please just invite each other to the podium so that we can save time. Karibuni.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Dana Ladislas from Tanzania Investment Center, and today I'll be taking you through giving you an overview on the investment climate in Tanzania and on the specific opportunities within the infrastructure sector overall. So there's so many reasons as to why you should definitely choose Tanzania as your point of investment, particularly in the infrastructure sector. Firstly, we pride ourselves with peace and political stability, so you won't have to worry about any kind of political instability which might affect your investment while having an operation in Tanzania. But also, we have an abundance of natural resources for your investment here, so you don't have to worry about getting any kind of natural resource for your investment, be it labor, extractives, raw materials, and etc. But we also have investment guarantees for your investment. We are a member of the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, which is currently recognized by World Bank. And we are also a member of the African Trade Insurance Agency. So both of these safeguard your investment in Tanzania, with MIGA safeguarding you against the non-commercial risks, and with the African Trade Insurance Agency safeguarding you against both commercial and non-commercial risks. And we also have bilateral trade investment treaties and agreements to safeguard that as well. But when it comes, we're also quite strategically located well, so it's quite convenient when it comes to movement internally in the country, but also to the nearby markets. want to venture to other markets. And when it comes to market, we are a member of the East African Community, which currently has 7 countries, close to 200+ million people right now. And we are also a member of the Southern African Development Community, which is about 16 countries, close to about 400 million people right now. So what we're trying to say is that when you establish yourself in Tanzania, you invest in Tanzania, you have an opportunity to reach out to all these nearby countries and have access to those markets just by being here alone. So you don't only have to focus on the local market alone, but you have access to 16 markets in the southern part of Africa and 7 markets in the eastern part of Africa, as well as to the outside world as well, because of the easiness of the infrastructure when it comes to import and export as well. Now, when it comes to connectivity, we are a developing nation, but we are developing when it comes to our infrastructure. And as you can see right now on the screen, this is our railway system, which will connect Tanzania to the nearby East African countries. When it comes to the market, or you venture into the markets, it will be easier for you with this infrastructure system. It's currently operational, with partly being already finished, the rest is in progress. But the idea that we're trying to show you here is that we're going to be quite easily connected, whereby you can have easy access to the East African part of the countries. From Tanzania to Rwanda, Burundi, you can see Ethiopia and DRC will all be easily connected for you to move from one place to another. And when it comes to the power supply, definitely when you invest, power cost matters. And when you compare Tanzania to the nearby countries, we're relatively lower cost compared to our nearby East African countries. And as you can see, from our island to our mainland, the prices are relatively lower compared to the other East African countries, Kenya, Rwanda, and etc. Yes. So we mainly have 3 categories of investment in Tanzania. The first one qualifies you to be TAC registered. Now, for a foreign investment such as yourself, the minimum threshold for you to qualify to be TAC registered is 500,000, taking into account all your tangible assets for your investment. And if you choose to partner with the local, we'll look who has the most shares, and the qualification, if the local has the majority shareholding, will be $50,000 US, and if you have the major shareholding, it will be $500,000 US in terms of the value of investment. Now, for the 2 categories, B and C, the strategic investor status and the special one, they are both government recognition statuses, whereby as a government, we recognize the level of investment that you've done to our country, and hence and give you a chance to request for custom incentives that you need for your investment. Now, they are called custom because it depends on the nature of your investment. So depending with what it is that you need in addition, you can request, and as TAC will present to the committee, and they will be discussed and approved, and you can get to enjoy those, plus the standard incentive that everybody else gets to enjoy. Yes. Now, when it comes to the incentives, we mainly have 2 categories of incentive. We have the tax incentives and the non-tax incentives. For the tax incentive, to be briefly, for the project capital goods, it includes items like machineries and plants. It's import duty 0. For your deemed capital goods, which includes things like building materials, equipment, and utility vehicles, you will get 75% exemption on your import duty. And for your VAT, VAT is not exempted, but as an incentive, you can request for a deferment if the project capital goods charge of your VAT is Tanzanian shillings 10 million and above. Now, for the non-tax incentives, we provide you land for investment. We have a team at TAC dedicated to help you getting land for investment. It's within our one-stop shop as well, which you have access to. But we also, if you want to repatriate funds, but also when it comes to that, and when it comes to you getting relevant permit, license, and registration, we have a team there to help you get that. And you'll be able to have at least 10 experts. But if you need more than 10 experts, we also help you to be able to attain them, to have relevant permits for them to operate in Tanzania. Now, speaking of our one-stop shop at TAC, we have a one-stop shop station, which currently has 14 institutions, all of which have a dedicated expertise who is readily available there to guide our investors, such as yourself, to get relevant direct information from the expertise themselves on your relevant certifications, licenses that you will need for your investment and way forward. Now, Going directly to the opportunities in the infrastructure overall. So Tanzania, as you know, we are a developing nation, so we have a robust of when it comes to opportunities of the infrastructure, from roads to railways to ports, as well as the airports. We have lots of projects that the government has available for investment. Outside, we have kept some QR codes where you can scan and get those relevant projects. But we also have the relevant institutions here, whereby you can be able to interact with them later and they can share you more intel. But we have projects that are available for PPP and as well as for private investments, of which you could choose to take up to for the infrastructure network investment. And for the energy sector, we do have opportunities for the oil and gas as well as electricity. There's also projects that they have readily available for investors that they're looking to with and take up the projects. So if anyone has interest in this relevant project, we have them outside as well. We can share with you and we can link you with TANESCO and TPDC, of whom are also present in this room today. Yes. And for the mineral sector, we also have an abundance of opportunities. Tanzania, we are quite blessed with lots of minerals, as you can see in our geological map. It's quite colorful because we have lots of minerals, from energy minerals to construction minerals to luxury minerals, to even, of course, lots of gemstones as well are available in Tanzania. So what we are promoting here is the adding value to minerals, the whole investment of adding value and trying to reduce the rate of exporting our minerals. So there's also that opportunity here in Tanzania. And for the water infrastructure, again, we are a developing nation, so we have lots of opportunity when it comes to the development of the water infrastructure. And the Ministry of Water has a number of projects that they're promoting as well that are up for investment. So for any investor who is within this field, has interest with them, we can link you up with them and we can discuss on the way forward to take out those projects as well. Yes, and for the construction, real estate is up and coming right now. So lots of opportunities for the real estate when it comes to hotels, residential housing, office complexes, and malls, and etc. So as a developing nation, we have lots of opportunity for growth in this area as well that we encourage for investment. Yeah. Now, just a summary of our current existing Japanese investment that are TAC registered as of up to August. As you can see, as of current, we have about close to 42.7 million US dollars in terms of value of investment, categorized into respective sectors, the most leading one being manufacturing and agriculture, and transport is up and coming. So we highly welcome the JIDA companies to as well join forces and invest in Tanzania. And as TAC, we're readily available to facilitate you and to ensure the smooth run of your investment. So thank you so much for your attention, and I look forward to more engagement. If you have any more questions, we'll have room later to us to answer. So arigato. Yes.
Thank you, Dan. We move on to the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority. Karibuni.
Good afternoon, everyone. Watashi no namae ha, Harimacho. I'm Halima from ZIPA. I'll be giving a brief overview of investment opportunities, particularly in the infrastructure sector. So I hope I have all ears and we are not that hungry that we can pay attention for a little bit. So the overview of the presentation will be as follows. I will just have a brief snapshot of Zanzibar. I think the Honorable Minister did give a little bit of glimpse of where Zanzibar is and what we're about. Also, we'll talk about the investment climate and the trends that we have going on with the existing investors that we have. We also look at the opportunities and the incentives that we have to offer with the various investment sectors that we're dealing with. And also, we are going to look at the promotion and facilitation entity, which is ZIPA, and what we do and how we can assist our Japanese counterparts. Basically, as you're all aware, Zanzibar is located off the coast of Eastern Africa as part of the United Republic of Tanzania. We're also strategically located among the SADC region as well. And we do have a population of 1.8 million people. Just to add on to the Honorable Minister's point that we do have a vibrant youth who are looking for employment. Also, why invest in Zanzibar? Just to add on to our counterpart at TIC, we do have, we are boasting as we do have a very stable and a very aggressive political will from our leaders in terms of promoting and also harnessing additional investments into the country. We do also allow 100% ownership of the various investment assets and also investment projects. We are also, again, we do have, we boast to have a very diverse range of accessibility and connectivity in terms of our ports, to our airports, also in terms of infrastructure. As our Japanese counterparts explained earlier, they're currently working on various infrastructure projects within the country. So that also helps in terms of connectivity and also ensuring that your investment projects are well accessible to other investors and also other counterparts. We also have favorable investment climate where our investors guarantee that their projects have protected, and also our entities are registered with the MIGA, so there is that international identification in terms of what we do as a promotional authority, but also as a government as a whole. So we're going to talk a bit about investment climate. Just to add on to that, as I said earlier, we do have a very good political will, meaning our government is supportive in terms of to improve investment within the country, which means our investment act and also our policies, they are guided by different development frameworks, which allows us to meet those targets that we have. So we are also guided with the Vision 2050. We also have our Zanzibar Development Plan. Also, we have the investment policy and also the investment act. So these are the guiding principles and policies that we use to be able to attract and also secure more investments within the country. So as we can see, we have investment trend right now. It's spiking, it's increasing, especially in the recent years. So we are able to see that FDI, which is the foreign direct investments from private entities, is showing a very promising trend with an upward increase to up to 66% in the last year. So this, again, to reiterate back to you, our Japanese counterpart, that there is still room for more investments from your side, and we have room to increase those numbers to reach to 100% and even a greater number. Currently, these are the main investors that we have. As you can see, I don't think you see Japan there, so that's an opportunity for our brothers to come and invest with us, so we can have those numbers in there and also include the Japanese companies and also Japanese citizens to make that graph more attractive on that side. So these are the various opportunities that we have. Just to add on, as my counterpart explained earlier, there are various opportunities within Tanzania and Zanzibar specifically. So we do have the fisheries and oil and gas, which is the mother right now because of the blue economy policy, which is the government is pushing that agenda forward to all our investors out there. So within the blue economy policy, we solely look at tourism, which is the main income for most majority of the population within the islands. But we also have the energy sector, where recently the government announced some exploration of some lots within the Indian Ocean. But we also have real estate, we also have ICT, agriculture, education. So the opportunities are endless, as you can see on that list. But for the sake of today's presentation, I would like to have your ears on specifically the two opportunities. So we look at the ports and the aviation sector, particularly the construction of an airport terminal in Unguja. So for the port, right now, the government is trying to, as we said earlier, to increase the incentive in terms of making Tanzania as a whole as a strategic investment hub. Within this innovation, we are looking at building a Mangapwani multipurpose port. Within this multipurpose port, as the name explains, is sort of self-explanatory. We're trying to create a multipurpose, not only a transshipment port, but also to be able to cater to other countries within the region. So this port will include the existence of dry docks. Also, we have the logistics centers, and also within the port, we have the economic zone. So for those companies who are looking in terms of not specifically building within the port, we do have the supporting investment opportunities within the port. So we have the construction of the ICDs, but also we have the construction of the oil and gas storage facilities, also the tankering facilities that this multipurpose port allows investors to come in and invest. Apart from the multipurpose port, we also have Terminal 4. As we said earlier, right now Tanzania is doing a very great job in terms of promoting itself outside of the continent. As a result of this, we are receiving a very large number of tourists coming in within the country. And right now, recently the government did finalize and actually started operating a Terminal 3 airport in Zanzibar, but the good news is that that port is about to reach its peak capacity in terms of the passengers we are receiving annually. So because of that, the government has allocated 25,000 approximately square meters of land for the construction of a new terminal building, which will be able to cater to increase the number. As we can see that the government is doing a very good job in terms of promoting our country outside. So this is another area where we are looking for investors to come and partner with the government to construct the new terminal building. For those who are interested with, if they have any questions in terms of the design, the technicalities of these projects, they can have, during our B2B section, they can meet with the relevant ministry, which is our Ministry of Infrastructure, to be able to get any clarity in terms of this project. So in terms of our procedures, when you want to invest in Zanzibar, it's very simple. The main sectors that we look at, as I said earlier, is the hotel and real estate, because it's the driving force of the blue economy policy. But we also have all the other sectors that are categorized as others. So for our foreign investors, in terms of investing, you require to have a capital of 2.5 million if you're investing within a real estate project or a hotel project. For any other sector, you can have a capital of less than 2.5 million, up to 500,000 US dollars as a capital which is required. And because, as we all know, time is money and time is valuable for everyone, we have created a portal where it simplifies the registration and application process. You don't have to physically come to Zanzibar to be able to apply or show an intention to submit your application. You can submit it online, and you'll be able to get a response from us within 24 hours in terms of to get more clarity if you need, or to get any additional information that is required from your side. As well as apart from the procedure, this is the most important part. This is the bread of the event. So you want to know exactly what are the investments that we are willing to offer. Currently, we have different criteria in terms of investments and the capital that is required to be invested. So for an investor who is willing to invest less than $5 million within the Pemba, which is the sister island of Unguja, you are categorized as a strategic investor. The reason behind is that because Pemba is still a virgin island where there is not much economic bust compared to the sister island of Unguja. So an investor who has $5 million is going to be able to invest in that area and can be considered in terms of as a strategic investor. And also an investor will also have $2 million and it can guarantee job creation of 500 jobs within that project, also can qualify to be as a strategic investor. For the Unguja Island on the other side, the capital requirement is $50 million. Or $10 million if you guarantee a job creation of $10 million. In addition, there's another criteria that we have. The government has announced investment in small islands, where we receive investors who want to create niche accommodation projects, or they want to create eco-friendly resorts. They're welcome to invest in those small islands, and those are automatically considered as strategic investors because of the size of the islands and the location of the islands. And additional, as well as for our normal investors, we have a variety of incentives that we do offer. So we do offer, as I said earlier when I started the presentation, we allow ownership of your project, but also the repatriation of the profits from your project after tax. So these, among other incentives you get as a registered investor within our entity. And as we are the Investment Promotion and Facilitation Center, so our job is to be able to make your transition into investment easy within Zanzibar. We do have almost 9 offices within our office, so it's a one-stop center which eases your process of application. If you have any encumbrances with any other entities, it's easier for you to come through ZIPA, and we are guaranteed that we'll be able to solve any of your challenges or encumbrances that you're facing while you're administering your project or while you're implementing your project. So we as ZIPA, we are looking forward to working with you, and we are hoping to be able to see your familiar faces again, not only here, but in the near future. So thank you, arigato.
Thank you for the presentation. And now over to the Tanzania National Roads Agency.
My name is, good morning, good afternoon. It's already afternoon, I hope so. My name is Efata Mlavi, and I'm doing this presentation on behalf of the Chief Executive, TANROADS. As you may all be aware, TANROADS is an agency under the Ministry of Works established for the purpose of looking at the national roads, currently comprising of about 37,000 kilometers. And the country network at the moment is about 182,000 kilometers, but specifically, TANROADS is looking for about 37,000 kilometers that is a national road network, that is a core network of the country that propels the economy of the country. The other small portions, the other small roads connecting localities and short distances are managed by the TARURA, which is a sister agency under the local government authority. And out of the big network, out of the 37,000 kilometers that TANROADS manage, only about a third is bituminized. The rest is a gravel road network. This is a clear indication that we have a lot of opportunities in this area. We have a long way to pave these roads, and this creates an opportunity where we can cooperate with many of the counterparts, including JICA. We deliver, or Tanzania deliver, the transportation, road transportation solution in utilizing about 9 transport corridors that are strategically located not only to serve the country, but also to serve the region. The key strategic corridors of the country are also part of the large East Africa transport corridor, which are very vital for serving the other East African countries, as said by other speakers. And our network is also part of the great, what we call Trans-Africa corridor, and not only serving, for that matter, Tanzania, but serving East Africa and Africa in large. Actually, Tanzania have approached the development of its network strategically over the past 20 years. Actually, the focus of the country for over 20 years it was to connect the country with the neighboring countries used by bitumen road. Another strategic objective was to make sure that the regional headquarters are connected also by bitumen road. And this is achieved, except a few locations that we are continuing to finalize. And having achieved that, the current focus at the moment, which is in compliance with today's discussion about the quality infrastructure, is how we can continuously improve the quality of the infrastructure that we have already put, while at the same time continue to finalizing a small portion of the network that is still remaining in order to realize the connectivity objective that is very important for our country. And as we speak at the moment, there are about 4,000 kilometers that need to be upgraded to bitumen standard to accomplish to continue or to support the earlier strategic approach of the government of bitumenizing all the strategic corridors and the important links. This is also an opportunity for investment. And there is also about 2,000, close to 3,000 kilometers of the roads that are already bitumenized, but will require rehabilitation. And the rehabilitation is needed in order to realize, first of all, the importance of these roads being bitumenized, but at the same time, to also enhance quality of this road. And this call for actually, as part of this is now the theme also of today applies of the quality roads. And we understand that the traditional financing of the roads may not be sufficient to address all the requirements. The normal budgeting system of the government through the central budgeting system or through the loans and so will not be sufficient. And the government is looking at other alternatives of how we can enhance the investment in the road subsector through involving the private sector in the form of PPP or EPC plus F and the other innovative approach that may be available. There are identified some roads that are potential for private investment. There is a section that is already under procurement for the first part of the PPP, the road that is identified between Dar es Salaam. Actually, the first part of the road is identified between Dar es Salaam, Kibaha, to Morogoro, and in the future, it will continue to Dodoma. The first part between Kibaha to Chalinze, or rather Dar es Salaam to Chalinze, is under procurement at the moment. But the second leg between Chalinze and Morogoro, the feasibility study is ongoing, and after feasibility study, then it will be ready for welcoming the private sector to invest on. The other part from Morogoro to Dodoma, actually what we have at the moment is a concept note. So we welcome the Japanese colleagues to also consider supporting in this area, starting probably with the feasibility study, because once you do the feasibility study, you have the chance of understanding the project better and to probably consider for the future investment and or cooperation. We are also, as said by other speakers, that the focus at the moment is not only the quantity, but also the quality. Actually, realizing the traffic situation in Dar es Salaam, we are in a court between now providing, maintaining the existing network and then providing additional roads. And as spoken by my colleagues from JICA, in around 2017, the government of Tanzania, of course, through the support from JICA, established the Dar es Salaam Master Plan, and some of the projects identified in the Dar es Salaam Master Plan include the Dar es Salaam Outer Ring Road in order to increase more roads and try to address the traffic congestion issues in the Dar es Salaam city. And the other issue was the second Kigamboni bridge, which is already presented here. They were saying the second because the first one is already in operational, and we are planning to put the second now from the place where currently the ferry is operating. And there is also, whether we say it's a, I don't know, it's a dream or there is also a dream to construct a bridge from Dar es Salaam to Unguja or to Zanzibar. This is also one of the areas that we welcome our colleagues to venture into looking at the possibility, because there is the idea, but it's still not put into realization. Other issues, several issues related to traffic congestion, other opportunities, a lot of opportunities available related to traffic congestion, but relief, but Tunduma transit border is one of the areas that is highly need attention in terms of alleviating the traffic congestion. At the moment, the situation at Tunduma is really not good as you cross to Zambia. The traffic congestion is really pathetic, and there's some
is international arbitration. Before the amendment of the Act, which actually made 2023, the Act could not allow international arbitration. The parties were only allowed to use the domestic remedies, to exhaust the domestic remedies. But now the law was amended. The parties to the contract can agree, they have the discretion, of course, after exhausting the local remedies, they have the discretion to resort to international arbitration, use international rules and arbitrations. Another incentive under the PPP Act is tax incentives. The PPP Act, before it was not allowing the private sector who is implementing PPP projects to get tax incentives. So now, after the amendment, the tax incentives is allowed, of course, as it has been mentioned by TIC officer here. All tax and non-tax incentives under the TIC Act, the investor through PPP arrangement can apply for all these incentives, as mentioned by the TIC presentation. Government guarantees. PPPs need to be supported by the government. Needs guarantees. Sometimes may need viability funding. So the laws, the PPP Act, including the Government Loans Grant and Guarantees Act, provide for such support. For instance, sometimes because PPP projects are purely social services projects, which actually may need subsidies or may need some funding from the government. We call viability gap funding. Some projects may be economically viable, but not financially viable. So the capex or the capital cost of the projects may be too high for the investor to be attracted. So the law allows the government to give some viability gap funding depending on the nature of the project. This is one of the incentives as well, which is provided under the PPP Act. The joint venture PPPs, as on the company, the special purpose vehicle, which is actually the company implementing the project, before it was 100% owned by the private sector. But according to the amendments made under the PPP Act, the public can own at least 25% as a minority shareholder, at a maximum 25%. The public can have the shares. So before it was not there, but it seems like, so the law allows the joint venture between the public and private for PPP arrangement. Procurement of the private investor. Of course, we have the processes should be undergo before we procure the investor. The project has to be critically analyzed and approved in terms of feasibility studies. Has to be approved by relevant authorities before we procure the project. So after all the documents required have been approved, then the process for procurement, the government made decision for procuring a private investor. So the law provides 4 ways, 4 methods under which the private investor may be procured under PPP arrangement. The first one is solicited project. These solicited projects are projects which actually have been initiated by the implementing agents. In the law, we call them contracting authorities. So after the contracting authority has identified the project, develop it, structure it, and see that the project is viable, go through all steps, including approvals, the project has to be competitively tendered. So the one method is the project to be competitively tendered so that private investors can bring in their bids, and all processes for procurement and evaluations can be done. So one of the procuring method is through competitively procurement method. The second one is unsolicited proposal. Unsolicited proposals are proposals submitted by the private investors. They submit to the contracting authority or implementing agencies so that they can review and accept all terms and proposals which have been submitted. So through this arrangement, the project may be exempted from competition, of course, subject to the fulfillment of some criteria which are provided under the PPP Act, which is under Section 15.2 of the PPP Act. So the second method is exemption is through non-competitive tendering for unsolicited proposals. The third one is direct negotiation. Direct negotiation or direct procurement. This is procurement of the private investor directly without competition. That means after the approval of feasibility study, of course in this case, we have an organ which approves feasibility study for larger projects. We call them PPP steering committee. After the approval of feasibility study, instead of going for competitive tendering, the contracting authority may go directly to the investor and negotiate the terms and conditions for implementing the project. So the third one is direct procurement. And the fourth one is special arrangement for the development of strategic projects. Some projects may be so strategic, but could not follow all the procedures under the PPP Act. This can be called as a special arrangement. That means the contract is going to be drafted and then submitted to the Attorney General for vetting. After vetting, it has to be submitted to the cabinet for approval. So the project of this nature has to be approved by the cabinet. That's the fourth one. So we have four. The fourth one is a special arrangement. As I said, my presentation included as well the categories of PPPs. We have small-scale PPP and large-scale PPP. For small-scale PPP, those PPPs, as I said, whose capital costs do not exceed $20 million. And the approvals or the treatment of these projects are quite different. These are under the local government authority within the ministry responsible for local government authority is the one who is going to approve the pre-feasibility study of this project. And then the feasibility study, instead, it has to be submitted to the PPP Center for scrutiny. Instead of being submitted to the steering committee, which actually the steering committee composed of the permanent secretaries, including the permanent secretary, Minister of Finance, and other heads of agencies. This one has to be approved by the contracting authority, the implementing agency, the one who is implementing that project. For instance, TANROAD is implementing small-scale PPP. This one, the approval has to be approved by the Director General of TANROAD. But for large-scale PPP, it has to go through to PPP Center and PPP Steering Committee for approval. Yeah, in a nutshell, that is a legal framework which governs the implementation of public-private partnership in Tanzania, which actually provides, as you may see, they provides conducive environment. There are so many incentives for the private sector to be attracted to implement through this project. As a PPP center, we are there to make sure that all these projects are coordinated from the initial stage to implementation stage in terms of scrutinizing the projects after the contracting authority have conducted the feasibility study, to scrutinize it to see whether the project have been implemented through PPP arrangement. And as well, we are there procedures to be followed in accordance with the existing legal framework of PPP in Tanzania. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. And finally, the Tanzania Private Sector Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime, we're preparing for the presentation from the JIDA companies. Please stand by for that. Karibu.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Yes, my name's Ngwisa Mpembe. I'm here representing Tanzania Private Sector Foundation. I'm the chairman of the construction cluster, construction engineering cluster. And before I start, I've been given strictly 10 minutes. I would wish to acknowledge the presence of my colleagues. I think we have contractors, especially women contractors. I've seen them here. Can you wave? Yes, they are there. And also I've seen one of our regulator, Mr. Mnunduma from AQRB. He's also here. We are always working together. So I'm talking, I'm presenting about, in a nutshell, about private sector with regards to infrastructure. So my presentation is carrying a number of mixed data and feedback regarding players and opportunities. And I think most of the figures and data has already been presented, especially from TIC and my colleagues. So in a nutshell, we are talking about the structure of the construction industry, which is basically infrastructure, the economic benefits, of course, gaps and constraints, which gives opportunities, which I think is a matter of interest for the members of this group. This is a loaded slide. It tells about the snapshot of the construction sector in Tanzania. But I think the last bullet informs about how important the infrastructure or the construction sector is to the economy of the country. And for some reasons, during COVID, construction industry is one of the sectors which never stops during the pandemic. And I think that was where its contribution was vivid and very important. Now, a bit of genesis and then players, of course, the governance, we have heard about the PPP and the rest. And I've skipped the reforms, but it will appear. So a bit of history. In 80s, this is when we had organized construction contracting with few foreign firms coming into the pictures. And then around late 80s, there were a lot of activities. I think this came from the change of reforms and new policies. And then a lot of new contracting companies, especially foreign companies, which came after the opportunities which were there. But still, we had a profile of very few local players. And then in 2000, we had a strategic move by the government to empower local companies. And then we saw a growth of local firms and also increased of share of local companies in projects. Of course, with much more involvement of local engineers and technicians. So here, what is important is there were gaps in the human resource, meaning engineers, technicians who could participate in these opportunities. So there was a focus on policy change, and I think if you remember, from presentation from JICA, there are a lot of technical cooperations which were aimed at focusing at these gaps to support technically. Now, brief about infrastructure industrial players. As I said, we have quantity surveyor, architect, and consulting engineering firms, individual consultants, architects, and engineers, some of whom are here, contractors. And then we have materials and component producers and equipment suppliers. Mostly these are private sector players. Builders and merchants. This is important because we have professional builders, but we have people who just doing trade in the sector. But most importantly, government involvement in the industry as a client, financier, most importantly, regulator and operator. But recently, we have seen also the government being involved like as a consultant, but also a builder for some specific reasons. And as I said, we have regulators, which are, because the construction industry is, I would say, is quite regulated, is heavily regulated. So we have contractor registration board, we have engineers registration board, because all engineers must be registered in different categories, whether they are local or foreign, who comes into the country. And then we have, of course, the Minister of Works. The minister was here, Minister of Communication, Energy. These are the main employers or clients. And then we have these bodies, the ERB, CRB, AQRB, the Public Procurement Act, agency, and of course, EURA to regulate oil and gas sector, including water. Now, these are mostly, I would say, private players. These are numbers which are very dynamic, are increasing. So we have over 170 registered quantity surveyor firms and about 700 quantity surveyors. The registrar is here. Maybe the number has gone up. This was last year's figures. And engineering consulting firms, over 300. And then majority of them are civil engineers, because we have different categories of engineering, mechanical, electrical, and some new emerging sectors. We have over 30,000 registered engineers, including technicians. And then contractors, I think the latest figure we had, we are over 12,000. But interestingly, 96% of those 30,000 are local, and then there are about 4% which are categorized as foreign, though the share of the work is nearly 50-50 because of the values which are undertaken by big foreign firms. Now, these are some figures. I think we have seen some of them, but it just tells the volume of the sector in the construction space. The infrastructure investment is largely as we heard in the morning, transport sector, power generation, and of course, mobility, meaning roads, ports, airports, and railway lines, which are quite active. And of course, we have heard from TIC and ZIPA regarding the housing opportunities. But last bullet is mostly on oil and gas. These are kind of new or not really so much active industrial parks, the areas of master plan, blue economy, renewables, and of course remains as untapped potential. Again, these are numbers. I think we have heard most of them or seen since morning. But most importantly, and this is our message to our friends in Japan, that our capacity to participate in construction projects, both from engineering but also implementation, is huge. And we would wish for a win-win situation where eventually both of us would benefit from those opportunities. so that this big cake can be shared by both Japanese companies and also Tanzanian companies. Of course, what I've not mentioned here, we have ongoing effort by the government to introduce a national local content policy, which of course is going to guide how or structure how the collaboration between Japanese companies or foreign companies and Tanzanian engineers and companies would look like in these opportunities. Now, these are some of the gaps as seen by the private sector. As I said, I mentioned the local content policy because we don't want the partnership to be unstructured. We want a mutual benefit between our entities. But we are talking about the construction sector policy, which will guide requirements, especially from clients in terms of materials to be used, because as a country, we think we are able also to produce a lot of more materials. We just heard about the new PPP Act, which was recently revised. We are talking of building codes, more and more discussion regarding green building, which is, I think, is very important given the effort of climate change. And then, of course, financing regime. How do our people get credit from the banks in order to finance, especially PPP arrangements? And then revised Public Procurement Act of 2021, which has recently been done. This is very important to be revisited because also it highlights a lot of ring fencing and focus on local players. Opportunities, yes, smart infrastructure, that's what we are here today to hear and exchange with our Japanese colleagues. A lot of potential in irrigation, horticulture, PPP, as we have heard. I think the numbers are huge, where the government is really encouraging private sector participation into infrastructure projects. Biomedical engineering is an area where I think there is a lot of opportunity. Operation and maintenance of constructed structures, BIM in buildings, and of course blue economy, which we think also has huge, huge potential. So these are the areas which we think will collaborate. We are here to hear from you, your side. I think as a group from private sector, we want to make sure that our collaboration with our Japanese colleagues is sustainable going forward. So I hope I used my 10 minutes so that we have time more to network and engage. Thank you very much for your attention.
Let's put our hands together for the Tanzania delegations. And now, one by one, we're going to call on the following: Shimizu Corporation. May I please welcome the delegate who will be presenting with our hands, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll also be hearing from Fujita, Nippon Steel, Sakai Heavy Industries, Ebara Pumps East Africa, JFE Engineering Corporation, and Yokogawa Bridge Corp. For now, Shimizu Corporation, ladies and gentlemen. Karibu.
Thank you very much. Sorry, please wait a while for my presentation slide. いいですか？はい、sorry, keep for waiting. はい。Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ochi. I'm General Manager of Shimizu Corporation Africa Office. First of all, let me introduce our company and briefly explain our operation in Africa. Shimizu is one of the largest contractors in Japan. Our annual operation size is about 13 billion US dollars, and we have 220 years of history. Shimizu has a network throughout the world. We have extensive experience of infrastructure and building in many countries. For Africa, our first project was in Zambia in 1967. Since then, we have participated in 95 projects in 15 countries. But unfortunately, we don't have any construction experience in Tanzania so far. Today, I'd like to explain how Shimizu has achieved high-quality infrastructure in our construction projects. First of all, what is high-quality infrastructure? Concept of high-quality infrastructure development is defined by quality and empowerment. This means not only focusing on reliability, sustainability, and resilience, but also promoting technology transfer, safety measures, and human resource development through the construction work. Today, using the example of the Tema intersection project completed in June 2020 in Ghana, I would like to explain how Shimizu implemented those aspects in our actual construction site. The Tema interchange is located about 20 kilometers from the capital city Accra and about 5 kilometers from Tema port, serving as a crucial transportation hub in West Africa. It is a significant junction where two international corridors intersect. Before the construction, it was a roundabout with a very high traffic volume, leading the chronic traffic congestion throughout the day. After the completion of the project, there was a significant reduction in traffic congestion. First topic is technology transfer. The photo shows a study session in scaffolding, assembly, erection, and dismantling. We regularly conducted such study session and workshop to ensure sufficient knowledge. Sometimes we conducted demonstrations in addition to study session to further deepen the understanding of entire team. The top slide shows the pre-study session for concrete casting. Bottom slide show is a workshop to provide training for ready-mix plant staff. For the site workers, we conducted on-the-job training by Japanese carpenters. This helps to improve the skill of local workers. We also facilitated the transfer of cutting-edge technology through the use of SIM, construction information modeling. We used SIM to create 3D models. This approach was well received because it allowed the staff to visually understand how dense river would overlap and to envision the shape of the structure in advance. As a result, comprehension improved, leading the few errors in river assembly and formwork. Next topic is safety measures. In terms of safety, we implemented Japanese-style safety measurement. The photo shows a safety training session for site workers. This is a training session where participants experience the blind spots of heavy machinery. The area marked with traffic cones are not visible from the operator's seat. This is a safety training session relating to lifting operation. Additionally, we provide instruction on how to give traffic signals and ensure that daily safety checks were conducted every morning. As a result, these efforts, the project was completed without any accidents and incidents. Next topic is human resource development. During the project, we accepted interns from local university in Ghana to learn about our site management practices. Furthermore, we held the Shimizu Open Academy at the University of Ghana, where we invited experts from Tokyo to explain Shimizu's project and Japanese construction technology. We are able to welcome a total of 229 students majoring in civil engineering and related fields from 5 universities across Ghana. At the site, we engaged in activities to reduce, reuse, and sort construction waste materials. Additionally, we designated 1 p.m. every Saturday as a time for community clean-up initiative, during which everyone participates in picking up litter in the surrounding area. Yes. Today, I use the example of our project in Ghana to introduce our initiatives. But we hope we will soon work with you all in Tanzania through actual construction projects and achieve the high quality infrastructure. Thank you very much. Asante sana.
Asante. Fujita Corporation. Next.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shibato from Fujita Corporation. Thank you for your giving me the opportunity to speak to you all today. I would like to introduce about Fujita's efforts in road project in Africa and our future technologies. Fujita Corporation is general civil engineering and building contractor, established over 100 years ago, and is a member of Daihouse Group, the largest housing company in Japan. In Africa, Fujita is currently performing Mombasa Fort Area Road Development Project in Kenya and Tikat Human Resource Development Center in Ethiopia. Fujita is making every effort to realize quality infrastructure through these projects. Now, I would like to talk about the ongoing Mombasa project with the video. The left picture is in September 2019, before starting works. The right one is at the end of July this year, To bring the project to this point, we have been supported by many engineering and workers. I would like to introduce about Fujita's efforts in technical transfer to local people through the project in the next slide. We are committed not only to the successful completion of our project, but also to passing on knowledge of quality infrastructure technology to local people through these projects. As an example, we have held technical workshop and in collaboration with the local construction association, established a qualification recognition system and issued qualification certificate for engineers and workers, trade under the project. These efforts have been highly prized in the countries where they have been implemented. Fujita is also carrying out surveys and studies on the feasibility of various projects with a view to the future of African countries. Some of our feasibility studies are for agricultural storage facility and data center, and affordable housing and future smart city plan. That concludes our effort in Africa. Next, I would like to introduce the technologies Fujita is currently developing. We believe there will be much more demand of the quality infrastructure supported by digital transformation in the future. The first, upper left one, is an unmanned AI robot. Many machines automatically operated themselves. The second, upper right, is quadrupedal walking robot. It is equipped with 3D scanner to automatically monitor the work progress. The third, lower left one, is a BIM resident. We are able to move around freely in the BIM world by game controller, and this technology enables the visualization of the construction site. The last, below right, is a freely automated drone. It flies over a fixed location at a fixed time every day, serving and capturing video footage. Let me show you what Fujita thinking ideal as a future smart city. Fujita's vision is that an ideal future smart city provides people with safety and security, comfort, and is people-friendly. Now please have a look at the image of the future smart city, rich in greenery. May I present our future smart city with various technologies for disaster prevention, a better environment, and energy saving. We propose a smart city of the future. Before closing, Fujita would like to make a commitment that it will spare no effort to realize qualification infrastructure. And I would like to conclude this presentation. Thank you for your attention. Asante sana.
All right, thank you very much for your presentation. I call upon Nippon Steel Corporation.
Good afternoon. I'm very privileged to speak in front of you all today. My name is Harada. I came from Nippon Steel Corporation. Today I came here to introduce one special steel material, weathering steel, for steel bridges to reduce the future repainting cost. Our Nippon Steel is providing a wide range of service based on the steel manufacturing, not only Japan, but also in the world. Next is steel manufacturing process we are making. After that, we are providing a wide range of steel product. I show you our Tanzania's record. First, automobiles. Actually, our main customer is a Japanese automakers company. So if you are using a Japanese mobile, you are one of the indirect customer. Thank you for using a Japanese car. And the secondary, for the infrastructure project, railway. Maybe you know this is a SGR project. We are the one to provide it to the main contractor, Turkish company. Yes. And the secondary, this is my main agenda, weathering steel. Actually, we have two provided record. One is the Rusumo International Bridges, which was located on the border between the Tanzania and Rwanda. And the secondary, Gerezani Bridges, which is closely from here. Both bridges use weathering steel, simply saying no paint-free steel. We can be expected in the future to reduce the future repainting cost. I show you more detail. What is a weathering steel? Steel itself has a corrosion resistance performance without painting. This is, you can see the left side, corrosion loss comparison. Ordinary steel, the surface of rust is porous and fragile, so easy to invade oxygen and water. On the other hand, this weathering steel protective rust layer is growing. So finally, corrosion speed drastically slowed down without painting, because we could make a fine and tight rust layer to protect the invade oxygen and the water. I show you the difference of the ordinary steel. You can see the upper side is ordinary steel, bottom side is weathering steel. Mechanical property is the same, but you can see the difference of chemical composition. Yes, during the making of steel, just we added a little alloy to find the last layer, to copper and aluminum and nickel, just a little bit. So during the making steel is the same as the cooking in the kitchen, just we making the soup, curry, we put some pepper, salt, something like this. We can make a different type of soup. This is the same. So we could make a protective rust layer instead of painting and no need painting in the future. This is our actual record in Japan. This weathering steel has been used since 1978, not only for like overpass bridges in urban area, but also rural area, arch bridges, and cable stayed bridges. As of now, we use 25% accounted for all steel bridges in Japan. Average, every year we constructed 35 bridges every year, and totally 7,000 bridges in Japan using weathering steel. Not only Japan, but also in America, it's very, very popular. I mentioned in Japan, 20% use. America is using more than 40 to 50%. Not only steel bridges, but also like steel structures. Weathering steel is very popular in Asia, Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, something like this. First of all, it was under the JICA ODA, but recently, as far as I know, in the Philippines, Indonesia, they are very popular. They use this steel for the bridges under their local budget by themselves. Long time ago, we did the activity in Vietnam. We did check the applicability of weathering steel under the Vietnam's climate to do the exposure test. Finally, we issue the steel, weathering steel guideline for design, something like this, with Vietnam University and the government also. Hopefully, in the future, I would like to do same things in this country also. Please give me a chance. I show you the comparison cost of the superstructure. You can see both. First of all, we have to buy steel materials, but I have to, when we make a steel, we had to add some additional alloy, as I mentioned. After that, we fabricate the steel girder in the shop, cutting plate, welding, and assembling something like this. And after that, we have to paint. This is the difference. After that, we transport to the site and subsidiary cost. Totally 100%. On the other hand, weathering steel 95%. This is estimated by in Japan only. So difference is here. After the construction, we have to maintain in the future. This is the image of the life cycle cost. Normally in Japan, every few decades, we have to repaint for the ordinary steel. So you can see big difference in the future. This is my final slide. Actually, we have 3 actual records in African countries. First record was in Zambia. This was completed in 1992. Actually, a few years ago, I had the opportunity to meet with the director of the planning department of Zambia Road Authority. He said he never cared painting for 30 years. This is, I think, this is one of the high-quality infrastructure products recommended by Japanese government, I think. And secondly, in Tanzania, I mentioned already, Rusumo International Bridges and Gerezani Bridges. I'm expecting in the future, no need care painting. I'm sorry. And we are expecting expanding in Uganda under construction, in Ghana under the bidding, and finally Mozambique in JICA feasibility study. Conclusion, I'm expecting this weathering steel is expanding in African countries. We'd like to contribute to develop infrastructure to provide our high quality steel product. That's my presentation. Asante sana. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Nippon Steel, to Sakai Heavy Industries Limited.
Hi, hello everyone. How are you today? Fine? I'm also fine. Yeah. My name is Tanaka of Sakai Heavy Industry. We are a manufacturing company of road construction equipment over a century. Today, we introduced to be able to good carbon reduction method for road construction area. In 2021, total carbon emissions in Japan is around 1 billion tons and something. Breakdown of it, 40% is energy change programs, and transportation area is 17%, and third share in this field. Road construction area discharged around 3.3 million tons. It is not so much big portion compared from other industrial industry, but we need to try to reduce of carbon emissions. For trying to carbon charge reduction, first to use recycling system of remaining materials. Second is to reduce logistics materials moving times. Third, lasting for long life cycle. Fourth, shortening for construct period. Fifth, reducing for construction waste, long life cycle. This is reducing waste. Load stabilizer is this one, this much. This is a miniature. Yeah? Load stabilizer method is for repairing strength of road base course with additives as cement and or asphalt emulsion during meeting to pebbles of remaining materials. Recycling in place and base course method by stabilizer is evaluated by Public Works Research Institute as reducing carbon consumption 50%. Road stabilizer construction is a recycling method to improve road base course strength upper part of this point line. There are three types of road stabilizer method. One is from soil road recycle. Second is from granular road recycle. And third is from damaged asphalt road recycle systems. We want to show typical Japanese job site from damaged asphalt road recycle, but we cannot show you our movies because of time limited. After constructing base course with resilience by stabilizer and finishing with asphalt pavement with recycled mixed asphalt. This is a compression. This is the simulation of cost comparison in case of small maintenance by every 3 years and maintenance by stabilizer every 15 years. It is available for over 40% cost reduction after 30 years because of stabilizer can keep good conditioned long life all-weather road at least 15 years. We are expanding road stabilizer supporting program to these countries. This is in Africa. One is in Tanzania. We can't construct road renewal because we are not contractor. However, we have a good skilled engineer to be able to make technical transfer training for engineer of your country by using our stabilizer. This is the training photos at Kenya 2018. Sakai stabilizer is available for shortened terms of the job site, construct with good condition and long life road, construct all-weather road from soil and granular road, construct strong structure road from disaster, maintenance of damaged asphalt paved road, road management with stabilizer technology transfer by special trainings from us. Thank you for attention, Asante Sana.
Thank you for your presentation. And we are moving with time, and we are calling on Ebara Pumps now, East Africa. Please, your hands, ladies and gentlemen. Let's clap for them. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Noritomi from Ebara Pumps, East Africa. I'm stationed in Kenya, and I'm responsible for launching our business in East Africa. Let me begin my presentation with an overview of Ebara Group. Ebara was established in 1912 as a university-based startup to manufacture water pumps. Since then, Ebara has diversified its business into 5 different business segments, including municipal waste recycling and cutting-edge semiconductor manufacturing machines. But today, I'd like to focus on our water pump business. Now, let me move on to the introduction of Ebara Pumps East Africa. It began operation in August 2022 as our first branch in East Africa. The mission is to deliver high-quality Ebara pumps to customers in East Africa, including Tanzania. One of Ebara's strengths is a wide product lineup that meet customer need, from small pumps to large pumps. These are standardized water pumps. They are smaller in size and mass-produced. Therefore, they are cost-effective, and the lead time is shorter. Compared to standardized pumps, these customized pumps have much higher head and much higher flow. For example, a left picture shows a pump impeller of our pump installed in a drainage facility in Tokyo. The flow reaches to 50 tons per second. And the right picture illustrates our high head pressure pump to a head of 5,000 meters. Pumps are important machines that support infrastructures behind the scenes. From next page, we will introduce some specific examples of pumping solutions in infrastructure. First, let's look at water intake application. The photo on the left shows our borehole pump working at the refugee camp in Kenya. The picture on the right shows our custom-made pump for river water intake, also in Kenya. They have both demonstrated high reliability even in the harsh environment. Next is our wastewater pump. This pump can handle silted water, and it can be used in manholes, construction sites, and mines. Next is emergency floodwater drainage solution. This is a truck with a generator, lighting, and pumps on board, so it can be deployed anywhere at any time in the event of a flood. Next is a pump gate system. It's an innovative solution that combines a drainage pump and a water gate. So it is suitable for small waterways where the space is limited. And this solution can also save time of construction. Next example is inclined submersible pump system. This is a solution to save both initial cost and running cost with a simple civil structure. As a pump is mounted on a rail, the position of the pump can be changed in line with different water levels. So it's a suitable solution for water source with a fluctuating level. Finally, I'd like to conclude my presentation by emphasizing our strength. The first point is efficiency. The first point is quality and efficiency. We are manufacturing pumps since 1912, accumulating technologies and know-how over many years. We can therefore produce quality pumps that gives us the biggest market share in Japan. Our second strength is our local branch in East Africa. Our office in Nairobi will serve Tanzanian customers closer than ever, giving prompt responses to inquiries. The third point is field service and training. No matter how good a product is, if it is not installed and operated properly, then it will not be able to demonstrate its full potential. We will provide training to our customers in Tanzania to ensure that pumps are installed and operated properly. So by making the most of these strengths, we will contribute to quality infrastructure in Tanzania as a water pump manufacturer. Thank you very much for your attention. Asante sana.
Thank you for the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for JFE Engineering Corporation.
To Tanzanian government and MRIT, JIDA, thank you very much for the opportunity to present to the Tanzanian government officials today. My name is Sugawara and work in overseas business development for infrastructure division at JFE Engineering. Yeah, so last year I proposed that Kigamboni Bay Mars Road plan to Japanese government MRIT and came to Dar es Salaam last year. And I clearly understood that Dar es Salaam, the gateway to Tanzania and East Africa, would undergo significant development over the next 100 years. Today, I will introduce the history of the transportation infrastructure development in Tokyo metropolitan area, which currently boasts the world's largest population. And second is, we also introduce my company, JFE Engineering. And thirdly, why the reason construction using steel bridge has contributed to the development in urban area. The 3 points I will explain to you. Yeah, so, right, in urban area, so where population concentrates, traffic volume increase and it becomes crucial to enhance that traffic network while minimizing traffic restriction. Bridge manufacturer, including JFE Engineering and like Yokogawa Bridge, or with many general contractors have been involved in that construction, widening, and repair of the flyover bridge, accompanying Japan urbanization for 100 years. The following photo shows the example of flyover bridge we have constructed overseas using technology developed in Japan. When I visited last year and considered the situation in neighboring countries such as Uganda, Republic of Congo, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, it became clear that Tanzania, and in particular Dar es Salaam, would become the most important maritime city for East Africa. As Africa's population grows, its importance will increase further. Based on UN projections shown from 2018 and outdated, we have confirmed its recent estimates that Tanzania and Dar es Salaam population will continue to grow. On the other hand, as I mentioned earlier, Tokyo metropolitan area is currently the world's most popular urban area, and by looking at its development and transportation infrastructure history, we can understand what will be necessary for Dar es Salaam in the future. Of course, I believe that the Tanzanian government is already taking many measures. So this is just a reference. So this slide shows that the population change rate in Japan from 1920 to 2015, around 100 years. Japan has experienced urbanization in Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka areas, and so on. But the population increase in Tokyo metropolitan area has continued for the past 100 years. And not only Tokyo area, but also its surrounding area has seen significant population growth, making it important to consider how to develop a wider area network for that metropolitan area, not just Tokyo proper. So in Tokyo, the development of the railway network has been continued for over 150 years since 1872, creating a public transportation network. Additionally, the development of expressway network began in the 1960s. And therefore, this table shows that the percentage of the people commuting to work or school, while most people in rural area use the private cars. But this blue area that is in Tokyo, over 90% use the public transportation even now, demonstrating the efficiency of that transportation network. Sorry, this is not my company's activities. This is the Japanese government's activity, MIT's work. So I will change to that my company's activity. But this is the history of Tokyo networks histories anyway. All right, so JF itself, I will introduce our companies, JF Engineering. JF Engineering is located in Tokyo and Yokohama. And the JF was formed in 2002 when Nippon Kokan founded in 1912, merged with Kawasaki Steel founded in 1950, and recognized as JF Group. We became independent engineering divisions, and there are three sectors: environmental engineering, and energy, and infrastructure. We've been involved in manufacture and erection of bridge, steel structure, and port facilities. Our overseas expansion began in 1960, and we've also completed the project mainly in Asia, but also the Suez Canal Bridge and Turkish project also. Okay. All right. The advantage of the steel bridge construction includes that the foundation using steel pipes with high bearing capacity. And second is that ensuring safety through factory-made steel girder. And third is a rapid construction in confined space. And fourth is that the weathering resistant steel, which Nippon Steel introduced. And for port area, the benefits including the deep sea port construction using jacket method, or rapid construction through the factory production and high durability. That is for port facilities. So now I will explain the advantage of the steel bridges as a rational solution for reduction urban congestion. First is that the alleviations of the traffic congestion through the flyover bridge construction. Second is that the minimization of the construction area by using steel bridges. And third is shorten the construction period by using the prefabricated girder. Furthermore, all right, so furthermore, the steel characteristic of that being the lightweight with the high durability allows for the rational design. Let's look at the specific feature of the steel bridge one by one. The first, the steel is lighter than the concrete. The second, they are industrialized structure. Third, they can accommodate the complex load alignment. Fourth, they can be constructed in short period with less on-site work. Fifth, repairing and reinforcement are easier to perform. All right, so the next page shows that the process of the steel bridge construction, including design, steel cutting, welding, blocks assembly, and the painting or something. All right. All right, so steel bridge can be also be erected using method where the girder are assembled into blocks and then installed as a unit, requiring less temporary reinforcement compared with the concrete bridge. The following project is the Kerani project in Sri Lanka, which our company was involved in constructing. This 3.5 kilometers long bridge uses a steel box girder for carving ramp section. To minimize land acquisition and traffic restriction, steel bridge, steel pier, and composite deck slab were used and complete the construction period in about 3.5 years. And the next page compared the concrete piers with the steel piers in substructure. Steel piers are smaller and allow for more flexibility in positioning. This demonstrates that the advantage of adopting a steel bridge in the urban area. The following project is in Minigon Bridge in Myanmar. The flyover bridge was constructed in Myanmar. It was completed in 8 months, including the design and construction. And when the availability of construction equipment in Myanmar, we achieved a shortened construction period by starting the steel procurement, superstructure fabrication, and substructure construction both. The next project is the flyover bridge construction at the intersection of the Lagos-Abidjan corridor and the international road from the Tema port in Ghana. By using the composite deck slab and rigid connection between the girder and the steel pier, we implemented to keep that the girder height low, shorten approach road, and positioning pier outside of the intersection ramps. We also developed the composite slab bridge overseas, which the girder and deck slab are integrated. This structure also keeps the girder height low and eliminates the needs of the formwork during the construction. As Yokoka Bridge, who will present later, has experience with this in Tanzania, so I will omit further details. The first steel bridge is possible to erect them in one night or without a temporary facility by using the block assemblies or the launching method. As I explained earlier, superstructure fabrication can begin while the substructure is being built, which shortens the overseas construction period. In Japan, various rapid construction methods has been developed to address traffic restriction during the urbanization, such as extended the launch nodes and pushing out the girder. The cantilever method using the crane on the top of the girder. Erection girder blocks using the large machinery. Overnight erection using the multi-axle transporter. And finally, I'd like to introduce one more advantage of the steel bridge. They can be reinforced and expanded to accommodate increased traffic volumes while utilizing that existing structure. This allows for meeting growth needs with the minimum disruption to existing traffic. So JFE engineering is at the forefront of that bridge revamping project in Japan urban area. For example, at this Itabashi and Kumanocho junction, we implemented the sandwich method to expand from 3 lanes to 4 lanes. This method involves that encasing existing piers with new large piers, allowing us to enhance functionality while minimizing the impact of that existing traffic. Considering these aspects, there are various advantages to adopt a steel bridge for the flyover bridge construction in urban areas. We hope that the Japanese technology, including that of our company, will be utilized in the development of Dar es Salaam or Tanzania. Thank you very much for our presentation. And finally, I am also assigned to the PPP promotion team of JFE. So after receiving today's presentation of Tanzania's government, we will start to research what JFE engineering can do in Tanzania. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll welcome the final presentation from your Yokogawa Bridge Corp. And I just wish to let you know that our guest of honor, Honorable Dr. Khalid S. Mohammed, Minister for Infrastructure, Communication and Transport from Zanzibar, is here with us. Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar is already here. And as soon as we're done with this presentation, we're moving to floor number 2, Mount Meru Hall. We're going to have to go quite fast because he needs to catch a flight out just before 3 p.m. So we'll do the closing remarks and continue with the networking session immediately after that. So let's put our hands together for Yokogawa Bridge Corps. Karibu sana.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. So thank you for the opportunity to speak today. So my name is Yuichiro Nakamura from Yokogawa Bridge. Today's presentation is I preparation the three. The one is the introduction of Yokogawa Bridge, and second is the introduction of Public. This is the easy component bridge, and the three the rapid construction of crossover. Firstly, we are introduction of the Yokogawa Bridge, and then my company is established in 1907. And business is mainly the steel bridge, the fabrication and erection. The design, fabrication, erection, on the maintenance, and the steel structure engineering, and the advanced engineering, the overseas business. And the office is in Chiba, and the factory is in Osaka. And so overseas branch is Hanoi in Vietnam, and Manila in the Philippines, and Yangon of the Myanmar. We have 3 branches. And now also we make a plan to the Bangladesh. And near the future we will open the branch. And then this is the Osaka factory. So opened in 1969. So area is 125,000 square meter, and fabrication capacity, this one, the steel bridge, making the capacity is 5,000 tons per month. And after that, this one, the domestic record of my company, the fabrication and the erection of this bridge. This is a truss bridge, and next to that, this one is the box girder bridge, and this one the suspension bridge, this one. And one more, this one the overseas record. We are erecting the Stonecutter Bridge in Hong Kong. This is the Cable State Bridge. And this is Bangladesh. We are making this one, the Nielsen Road Bridge. And one more, sorry, this one is the South Sudan. We are making the Nile River Bridge in the South Sudan. And so this one, nothing to the picture, but we are erection also. So Gerizari Bridge also, my company is erection for subcontractor. And the next is introduction of the Public. This is a easy component bridge. Is like this one. We have so many 2 kinds of the type: the girder type and the truss type. And this one is like this. So please show me like this screen. This one also this bridge is already making the design. So only fabrication and erection. This only. So no need to the design like this system. And then deck is we are using like this wide deck that we are using. So this one we have 3 types, L, H, HG. This type we have. And so depending on the load, so we are choosing the LH8. And this span is 40 meter to the 36 meter that we are using. Okay, this is the combination, the girder, this one. And, so this picture is a temporary bridge they're using, and emergency bridge, and also a temporary jetty that this system that can using. And also, and one more truss type. This one is, sorry, so some word is inside this one. So also truss bridge, so we have a double warren truss and the lattice truss. We have two kinds of the truss type. This one is so span is 14 to the 72 meters. We can making this bridge. So these are components, panel unit like this one. And combination like this one. So 40 meter to the 12 meter, sorry, 72 meter we are using this one. So if you have like this project we are getting, so every time, so getting country that we are making, and then fabrication that we are find to the factory, and then fabrication that this like this system. And this time also, my company, the supervisor, will come to this country, and we are teaching in the how to make in the this bridge. Then after that, so fabricators, so getting the like this chip, so like this scheme that we are make a target. And one more, so rapid construction the cover like this one. So today, so we. Rapid construction, like this one. So we are preparation, so two video. So one video is so Yamagata Prefecture, so Nanyo City, like this election for my company. And also second video also, Shizuoka Prefecture to the Gotemba City, the we are election. So this one, so we are making the access story, the election. This gather is about 120 meters, and the weight is 1,000 tons. So this one is moving the erection area. Then after that, so jack down, like this system, we are erection. Also this erection, that's only one day they finish to the erection. So nighttime, stop this crossover. After that, so one night finish. After that, erection the finish. So open the traffic. After that, so adjusting the location and jack it down. And one more video with same as the accessory, but a little bit connection method a little bit different. This one also the one night the way erection the finish. This is a merge accessory. And they take a location after that. So we are using the cable jack. The like this is a cable jack. This one is lift up the gather and the connection. Now the lift up and then remove to the accessory. Then lift up to the gather. Hi. This is the rapid construction of the flyover erection. So, okay. Okay, thank you for your attention.
Let's clap for all the presenters. Shimizu, Fujita, Nippon, Sakai, Ebara, JFE, and Yokogawa. Thank you very much. And so that brings together the presentations from Tanzania as well as from Japan. And now we're going to move to Mount Meru Hall on the second floor. And we're going to be seated in the following way. May I make this announcement in Swahili? Kwa wale ambao tunakwenda huko juu, naomba tuende tukakae katika maeneo yetu kutokana na maeneo yetu ya kazi ya shughuli zetu. Kwa wale ambao wako kwenye upande wa port sector, bandari, railway sector, kuna maeneo kabisa yameainishwa, umeme, electricity, maji, na kama haupo katika haya, yani port, railway, electricity na water, basi nenda kakae katika eneo ambalo limeandikwa other sectors. And so ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Dr. Khalid Has Mohammed is waiting for us anxiously on the second floor. May I please kindly request that we move up now as soon as we can. Some of us can use the lifts here. Some of us who know the venue very well, we can go to the other end and go up the lifts and walk across. So congratulations for the work that we've done here. See you upstairs shortly.